What is up everyone, and welcome to some more F122 My Team career mode, and this time it's a big one. It's the Hungarian Grand Prix, and that marks the halfway point in the season, which means that first off, we have to try and re-sign a driver. Albon has accepted our approach, but will he accept the low risk offer? Hasn't always happened, this time it does. I've offered the low risk offer to drivers before, but they don't always take it, so yeah, I was a little bit concerned he might not take it, but he did on this occasion, so I'm pretty happy with that. Next up, we have a big announcement. Fernando Alonso, at the age of 46, after 24 full seasons in Formula 1, is retiring. I can't believe he's been around this long. He must have been one of the oldest modern Formula 1 drivers of all time at this stage. I can't think of anyone nowadays who would go until they're 46. Maybe Fernando Alonso in real life will go until he's 46. He's 41 at the moment. He'll be 42 later in the year in real life. But yeah, at the age of 46, finally, he's decided to call time on his incredible career. We've had a number of fantastic battles with him over the years. Most recently, we had one with him in Canada in this season. So yeah, there's been a number of occasions where he's proven to be, you know, a massive opponent, a bit of a thorn in my side for me, despite the fact that the Alpine isn't that good of a car anymore. He was never able to be a championship contender in this career mode, but nonetheless, it's been absolutely remarkable, and it's going to be very weird next season not having him on the grid. You know, for me personally in my life, I can't remember a time that he wasn't on the Formula 1 grid. You know, I was born in the year that he started racing, so yeah, it's kind of incredible. But anyway, enough about Alonso, and let's start talking about myself and Jaguar Racing. We don't get off to the best start on the Hungarian Grand Prix weekend. We have a pretty poor time of things in practice, down in 19th. Only person we were faster than is the Alfa Romeo of Christian Lundgaard. I don't want that to be the case for the entire weekend, if that's possible, because, you know, we're locked in the middle of a championship fight at the moment. We're leading by quite a lot, over 30 points after our most recent win in France, but nonetheless, you know, I need to be maximizing my points output now rather than losing out on points and then having to try and dig my way back into the championship, which is kind of what happened in the past couple of seasons, especially in the previous season. I was leading the championship very comfortably at the halfway mark, and then I ended up losing it after Singapore, and fortunately I managed to work my way back into the championship fight after that and won it in Abu Dhabi, but still, I really should have had it wrapped up quicker than that. So yeah, we gotta get things under control as soon as possible, and that starts right here in qualifying. We do a 1:15.1 to kick things off, and I would wage to say that we need to be very comfortably in the 1:14s if we want to have any chance of making it through. So yeah, I'm going to need to go again. We go out on another fresh set of soft compound tyres, and as we round the final corner, we manage to improve by about 4 or 5 tenths. Not bad, we'll be into the 1:14s quite comfortably. It's 1:14.6 as we cross the line, and that is good enough to see us through in the end in P7. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I hope that we can continue finding improvements over the course of the race weekend. I want to qualify higher than P7 ideally. I want to be at least top 5 probably, especially with Albon up there in P1 on a 1:14.1 as it were. He, I think, is going to be too fast for me this weekend, if I had to guess. Not one of my strongest circuits by any stretch of the imagination. They call it Monaco without walls, and I mean, well, if that's the case, then maybe I will do well after all, because Monaco did go very well for me this season, but it doesn't usually, and Hungary is a similar beast. Not a track I can get my head around as well as some others. So yeah, I'm not expecting big things. We come out on a used set of softs to do a banker run to start off Q2 this time. And across the line it's a 1:15.2, actually not too far off my first fresh tyre run in Q1, so definitely a lot of potential that we're showing. We could probably get into the mid 1:14s with no real issue, I reckon, and indeed you can see on a fresh set of tyres it's a 1:15 something it's going to be across the line, not a 1:15, what am I talking about? It's a 6/10 improvement onto another 1:14.6. That was my brain breaking for a moment there, but we're back on track, and yeah, we're through as well. P6 Albon there in P3, another 1:14.1 tops the timesheets, but this time it's Charles Leclerc. And yeah, lots of parallels to be drawn. A few shock exits, including Gasly and Sainz on this occasion. Meanwhile, we've got the Aston Martin of Stroll and the Alfa Romeo of Porsche making it through. So yeah, a little bit surprising to see all those guys. Obviously, Stroll riding a bit of a high from the most recent race, France. He had a P3 finish in the Aston Martin. Very strong performance from him. But yeah, I can't let myself be outperformed by him if I can help it. So we're doing a banker run on a used set of softs as we always do. It's into the 114s actually on the used tyres, which is very impressive, a 114.9. And I'd wage to say we'll be able to find a bit of improvement on a fresh set of softs to do our final run in Q3. But will it be good enough for pole? I don't know. You can see we move into the final sector now, and we're up by 5/10 already around that corner, and it's about another 10th we end up saving. So yeah, I'm looking really good right now, and I can't help but shake the feeling like we are going to be doing pretty well. And around the final corner now, up 7/10. This could be a pretty good result, to be honest. It's a 1:14.2 as we cross the line, a lot better than 1:14.6, and it actually is good enough for pole position. I was really not expecting to get a pole position here, but I still think that we're going to struggle in the race. Albon is incredibly fast. 1:14.5 doesn't seem like it's reflective of the pace that he's been showing over the course of the weekend. So I think we're going to be under a lot of pressure from him in the race. Ricciardo in a very impressive third place, and Stroll all the way up there in 6th as well. So he's looking to put on another strong performance after what happened in France, which obviously, you know, is a bit of luck. If you watch that race, you'll know that the weather massively influenced the result of that race. A lot of drivers who were starting well down the order managed to work their way back into, you know, sort of the top 5. I think it was Lundgaard started right at the back and ended up finishing 5th or something like that. Very impressive drive from him. But yeah, like I said, it was very much strategy that influenced that one. I don't know if strategy is going to influence this race as much. It's going to be a dry race, so if anything is going to be influencing the strategy, it'll be things like safety cars and stuff like that. But you know, I'm hoping that I can defend for my life and hopefully keep Albon behind for the duration of the race.
Welcome to Budapest once again for another round of Formula One action. Historically, a good race for first-time victories, with Button, Hill, Alonso and Heikki Kovalainen all reaching the top step of the podium for the very first time right here. Located 12 miles northeast of the Hungarian capital Budapest, the 14 corners of the Hungaro Ring are steeped in history and prestige. Overtaking's always been difficult on this technical 2.7-mile track, but the last few years in particular have turned up some exceptional races. So let's hope we're in for another one here today. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Robinson lines up on pole position, and Alex Albon lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Ricciardo, Verstappen, Lando Norris and Stroll, Leclerc, Russell, Magnussen and Teo Porcher, Gasly, Fittipaldi, Carlos Sainz and Oscar Piastri, Mick Schumacher, Joe, Nicholas Latifi and Fernando Alonso, Lundgaard, Tsunoda, Ocon and Robert Schwartzman. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Natalie Pinkham, a lot of talented drivers out on the track today, but what will stand out for you?
My focus is 100% on the front of the grid. Like you said, we're seeing a lot of strong competition across those positions, so it'll be so interesting to see the fight for that front spot. Personally speaking, I'm hoping for plenty of overtakes.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
I have to say on my side, I'm personally hoping for not that many overtakes because I want to hold on to this position if I can. Don't think I've ever won around Hungary. I've had a podium here, I think, once, but it's not been a particularly strong track for me historically. And yeah, it would be nice to win here. Like I said, I think it was in the previous race, or maybe the race before that. One thing that is on my bucket list for this season, if I can do it, oh sorry, this series, if I can do it, is I want to win at every track on the calendar. And we don't have that many left to tick off, I think. But this is one of them. So if I can do it here, then that would be a fantastic result, and would really be you know, help me work towards that goal that I want to achieve. But anyway, the lights come on and the lights go out, and it's a pretty good start for us. Unsurprisingly, we're on the soft compound tyres when everyone around us is on the medium compound tyres, so I wouldn't be too surprised by that. Albon, not the best starter in Formula 1 either, often comes under pressure on the opening lap. I think Verstappen's gone for a bit of a dive bomb up the inside there by the looks of things, and yeah, almost made his way into P2 for a second there, but Albon has managed to hold on to the position from his former teammate Max Verstappen, and yeah, that's allowed us to extend a bit of a gap, and this is exactly what I wanted to see at the beginning of the race. I think these soft compound tyres might take a bit of pain now, but it might be worth it in the future to be on the medium compound tyres for the end of the race. So yeah, we'll see if these have the grip that I need from them or not. But I mean, Albon already, you can see, has closed me down by 4/10 or so over the course of about a sector and a half. So yeah, I was kind of surprised at just how much pace he was showing. But I think his car is probably optimised with a bit more downforce than mine. It's always the case, isn't it? On some tracks, it feels like the AI have way more straight line speed than me, and then on other tracks it feels like they have way more downforce than me. But there's very few tracks that I've raced at where I genuinely feel like I have a balanced setup compared to the AI. But maybe that's just because they're better at cornering than me or something. I don't know, better at getting traction. Maybe that's why. Maybe there are tracks that I am balanced with them, but I just don't see it. In any case, we're still leading the Grand Prix after lap 1, so I can't be too disappointed with the position we're in. But I think our position is going to come under threat sooner rather than later, and you can see here that Albon is trying to size up a move on me at the inside of whichever corner this is. I'm not going to pretend I know which one. I think it's like turn 12 or something like that. So yeah, we got attacked by him. We managed to hold him off briefly, but it's just you know, we're showcasing how much pace he has. I think with the DRS, it's going to be very hard to keep him behind. And likewise, he's attacking us again into turn 12 on lap 3. I was going to say turn 3, but this is definitely not turn 3. I know that much. Yeah, he's attacking us on lap 3, and I think we're gonna have a real challenge on our hands if we want to keep him behind for the remainder of the Grand Prix. You know, I don't want to hold him up too much, but at the same time, he is my closest championship rival. If he wins this race, he will be making up points directly on me in the championship, which will reduce my chances of winning the championship. It's the first time in a couple of seasons where I've had a teammate over the course of the whole season. Last season we switched out Pourchaire for Piastri halfway through the season, but then Piastri didn't want to stay either, so we went with Albon, and yeah, I decided I wanted to keep him to maximise our chances of winning the championship. But here we go, up on the run into turn 4. Albon is going to try and go around the outside of me, but I managed to squeeze him out and defend that position for all I'm worth. You can see, judging by how much I'm going out wide at turn 5, I'm losing grip quite dramatically in these soft compound tyres already. I think they're about 40% worn by this stage. So yeah, we're going to have a real fight in our hands if we want to keep Albon behind, and I think he might try and size up a similar move on me here. I've just got very little to fight with left, and depending on where he goes, I think he's going to try and go up the inside and see if that has more luck for him. And he's already ahead, by the way, by the time we make it to turn 4. So yeah, nothing I could do on this occasion. No chance to get back past him, and I think that is going to be him driving off into the sunset as this race progresses. I don't think I'll be able to battle with him any. You can see he's 4 seconds up the road as we move on to lap 7, and we actually get a bit of contact there from Alex Albon. No, it's from Max Verstappen it was. Why did I say Alex Albon? He's not been in a Red Bull for a very long time. Alex Albon very far up the road, but we get a bit of contact from Max Verstappen, and so much so I think it broke his front wing and he's had to come into the pits. I don't think I was at fault in that one. I think maybe he locked up and hit me or something, so not much I could have done in that scenario. And now we're under pressure from Daniel Ricciardo, who is also a former Red Bull driver. Is there anyone in this grid who hasn't driven for Red Bull at this point? Certainly not in the top places, other than myself. But yeah, Ricciardo tries to go for the switchback on me around the outside of turn 2 as well. I think he's going to try and attack me into turn 3 up the inside, but he has to back out of the move in the end. We almost make contact. I have to take to the runoff area just to avoid being hit by him. And yeah, we do hold on to P2 for the time being. So yeah, at least I can defend from some drivers, even if it was a little bit scrappy. And lap 9, finally, we're able to bin these outrageously worn tyres. They're not quite at 60% yet, but I don't think they're far off. And we're going to be putting on a set of medium compound tyres to the end. So yeah, thank God that we are finally able to get off these, and yeah, hopefully we'll find our way back into at least P2 once the medium compound runners around us start to pit. But that probably won't be for another 6 or 7 laps. Medium compound runners usually pit around the halfway mark of the race, in my experience. So yeah, I'll be excited to see what happens as the strategies unfold in this race. You can see now on lap 13, I just set the fastest lap of the race, and it is true, I am pushing very, very hard right now. Zhou Guanyu actually beating me out to fastest lap. He's on a fresh set of mediums as well. But yeah, I'm pushing very, very hard right now to make sure that I don't lose any positions. I was in P2 after the pit stop phase, and I want to be in P2 again after everyone else has stopped off these medium compound tyres. I'm gaining quite a lot on Ocon and Norris in front, but I don't know if that's just because the Alpine of Ocon is quite slow. With the best will in the world to him, he is in the worst car on the grid, so it would make sense that I'd be able to catch him up, especially when they're on used tyres versus my fresh medium tyres. I don't see how we wouldn't be able to catch them, and we might be able to catch him even more now, as he's having a bit of a battle with Lando Norris up in front, which is going to hold both of them up quite nicely for me to make even more progress on them. And actually, this is Ocon going very slowly because his engine has blown up, and he becomes the first retirement of the Hungarian Grand Prix on lap 16. I hope this doesn't bring out a safety car, because if it does, I would suddenly find myself in a much less advantageous position and would probably lose out quite a few positions to people getting cheap pit stops. But fortunately, it didn't bring out a safety car, and you can see on lap 17 that finally the first medium compound runners are starting to come into the pit lane, and yeah, I'll see which one of them I can get ahead of. Hopefully it will be the majority of them, but I think there'll be a few of them that might be tougher to get ahead of. There's Ricciardo, who we were ahead of at the pit stop phase, and actually we've made up quite a bit of time on him by the looks of things. I think Zhou Guanyu might even come out ahead of him. Not quite, but yeah, he's 3 seconds down on us, so that's encouraging to see. Norris coming into the pits as well, and I think this was the lap that Albon boxed as well. Yep, you can see that he was in the pits too, and that is going to be the crucial one. I don't think that we'll be able to make up the time on Albon, and indeed you can see as we go past the pit lane now, I'm only 8 seconds down on him. So yeah, clearly I didn't make up anywhere near enough time on him. Finally, it's Gasly coming into the pits, and after that happens, we will be regaining this position, the P2 we were in earlier, and hopefully making it to the end in P2. I think Ricciardo is closing us down a tiny bit, but only little by little every lap. I'm thinking that we should be able to hold on to this position to the end. Maybe we'll have to defend from Ricciardo a little bit, but he's not quite as fast as Albon, so I think he should be easier to defend from, hopefully. But anyway, we move on to lap 22 now, and they actually are bringing to my attention an issue with the car. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it seems that there is some kind of problem. Hopefully it isn't terminal, but there is every chance that it might be some kind of terminal issue. Not clear at this stage in time. All we can do is try and power through it. I will, yeah, I think it's not a terminal issue by the looks of things, because that's the message they usually give you when it isn't a terminal problem. So that's encouraging to see. Hopefully we can crack on with the race. Just try and hold on to the position we've got at the moment. Ricciardo down in P3 is only 2 seconds behind us now, so he is starting to close the gap. But yeah, we might have a slightly harder time of things. They're bringing attention to another problem, which I haven't seen before. Usually, if you have a problem and then it says, oh, it's not good news, that kind of means you're just going to be down on power for the rest of the race and might have a harder time. And you can see Ricciardo is reeling me in. But I've never seen them draw attention to a problem twice, so I'm not sure what that means for our race. Hopefully it's just some kind of weird glitch or something like that. But I guess we're going to find out sooner rather than later what the deal with that is. And as we cross the line onto lap 23, you can see that it is in fact a mechanical failure. So yeah, very weird. But I don't really know what was going on with that. We got warned of an issue it looked like it was going to sort itself out, as is usually the case when they give you the message they gave me. But then they warned me about another issue, and that one was terminal. So yeah, I don't really know. We have enough of a gap at the top of the championship that I don't have to worry about this too much. We will still be leading the championship no matter what Albon does, but this certainly does make our job slightly harder and will mean that I will have to be much more on it when we go to the Belgian Grand Prix in a few weeks' time.
So after a day of mixed fortunes up and down the field, we bring today's race to a close. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we could talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those that we've witnessed today.
Welcome then to the podium, our top 3 drivers. What a great effort from them today in a very difficult race.
Obviously, I'm happy that Albon was able to win the race, but I am at the same time very disappointed that we couldn't bring home a 1-2 for the team. I would have liked to see myself up on that podium as well. Also keep the championship with a little bit of a bigger gap, but you know, it just gives us more to do in the future. Yeah, we've been having real problems with reliability this season. I don't know if it's the Ferrari engine or what's going on with that, but certainly I think I'll be going with a different supplier next season because this is unacceptable.
So let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. Our championship leader is still sat at the top of the standings, but their rivals have made up some solid ground today. So then, Natalie Pinkham, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Carlos Sainz certainly wasn't someone to scoff about. His ability to follow race strategies throughout with pinpoint precision has to be commended.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. The current leaders continue to extend their lead at the top. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend for them as they fight their way towards the top. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
So, all we can do is just look to the future and try not to dwell on that one too much. Obviously, there's not much we can really do about the reliability, so all we can do is just move forward from that and try and get as many good results as we can. You know, I've had a number of wins already this season, 6 wins in 12 races. I can't be too disappointed that in 4 of the races that I haven't won, they were DNFs. Because we're still running on some pretty good points, and yeah, I can just look forward to Belgium, which has always been a strong track for myself, and hope that I can grab another win there. But that is going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, please make sure you like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.